Hi, everybody. My name is Malaysia Hayward. I am the owner of the Bougie Bookkeeper. We are a full service bookkeeping firm that empowers small to medium sized businesses with the expertise and the tools that they need to create, build, and grow their accounting systems. So, today we're going to go into everything transactions, how to categorize your transactions, how to add in transactions, all those good things. So when you first log into QuickBooks, you will see in one moment, you guys, I have to turn this over to Business View. When you are an accountant, it gives you the option to have accountant view, as you can see right here. But we want to switch it over to Business View so we can see what you see when you initially log in. As you can see, we are now in Business View. So this is what you will see when you log in. So we're going to start out with the transactions that come from your bank account. Now, QuickBooks has the AI where it automatically allows you to download the transactions that come into your bank account in real time. Now, I have in my experience working in QuickBooks and working with my clients, there have been times where certain bank accounts you have to continuously go in and update, and they do that because that bank has a type of security system, two-step verification that and it's for your protection, but it's a little bit annoying when you have to constantly go back in and always update your QuickBooks or put your login information for your bank account to um, show up in real time. But you may have to do that, and you may have to do that frequently. So I would like to warn you guys for that. That is one of the downsides of QuickBooks that I recognize. But when you log in and if it's your first time ever using it, something like this will pop up. For right now, we're going to hit skip for now. So if you want to learn how to connect your bank accounts, make sure you go click my other video that's down in the description. It will walk you through how to link your bank accounts to QuickBooks. Very simple. So as this is loading, what happens is if it's your first time, QuickBooks will walk you through how to assign a category and how to categorize a type of expense. So I'm actually going to take myself off so you guys have full screen looking at QuickBooks. So go here. I'm gonna hit exit on this. As you can see, this is a transaction that has come from my bank account. So I have three options. I can categorize it, I can find a match, or I can record it as a transfer. So when you pick a category, this is where you're able to assign a category, so whether it was an expense, whether it was revenue, whether it was an owner's draw, whether it was owner's equity, whatever it may be, this gives you the option to categorize it based on your preferences and actually based on what it is. QuickBooks is AI, so it does get smart and it will try to put its own thoughts of what it may be or its own recognition of what it may be. And if it can't recognize it, then it will be recognized as uncategory expenses. Now, this is a little bit of a bookkeeping bonus. You do not want anything to ever be in an uncategorized category. That is horrible for the end of year tax return. We want everything categorized. That way we can get the most tax deductions possible at the end of the year. And then also so that we're able to get accurate numbers and see what we're spending. So for this transaction, it says we have $55. Descriptions is books by Bessie. Payee is book by Bessie. So so we all know what the date is. A description is sometimes when you are doing an electronic transaction, then it sometimes will come with a description. Like if you use the ATM, sometimes it will pop up at the bottom ATM fee or ATM withdrawal. Or if you went to Walmart, it will say www.walmart just in the electronic transaction, and that helps you. And sometimes it doesn't show up in this blank. So you will have to pull up those bank accounts or pull up your receipts and see what you actually spent it on if you cannot remember. I will not rely 100% on QuickBooks to tell you that answer. So then a payee is who you paid that to or who you received the money from. And then the amount, okay? So this is a positive number, so that's how we know it's income. If there's a negative number, a negative sign next to it, that would mean it's an expense. So we're going to just click on this. We're going to say that these are just our regular sales of product. We're going to click that and we're going to hit confirm. And then what happens is this then goes into your bank register And we're gonna hit continue. It's gonna go into your bank register, and then that has been categorized under your sale of product income. So when you pull up your profit and loss sheet, and if you need help understanding those reports, check out my video when I talk about just how to understand and read financial reports. Then it will help you understand your revenue, how much you made in revenue from your sales of products. So let's go a little bit more. I'll do a couple more, okay? So we have something from a rental. So clearly this is a rental, something we got, but it is a income because there is a pot. There's no negative number here. So let's say who paid me. We'll say Cool Cars paid me, and then we're going to put this as sales of product income. Now, if you just want sales and you want to add that, you just hit add new category, and then this will pop up. So we want to put this as income. And then we're going to go down and it's going to give you the option. And this is where having a little bit of bookkeeping knowledge helps. But if not, then you will want to go ahead and Google it, right? So we're going to click on this. We're going to say service and fee income, right? And it's going to ask you to name it something. We're going to say service and fee income. And it's going to ask for a description if you would like to include a description, include it. And then you're going to hit save and close. So boom, now we have a new category. So if your category or the expense that you're looking for, the revenue that you're looking for isn't automatically in here, because QuickBooks has its own list that it will give you to start out with, then you can go ahead and add your own. Once you have that filled out, then you can add tags. Tags is a way of tracking individual groups. So let's say I had let's say that I had some properties and I wanted to track each expense by property, I can add a tag group here. And then a memo is just any notes that you want to put here. This was a deposit return. How do I know that? Right here it says bank details. So the bank has its own memo that it got from the electronic transactions. You want to go ahead and write whatever you want in there. So if you have to come back, you have to memorize what this was for. That's a perfect place. You can write anything. You can also attach anything that you want to there. Let's say you have a receipt, an invoice, anything, you can attach that to here. Now, what create a rule is, this is an AI feature of QuickBooks. So every time something comes in that matches the descriptions a rental, it will automatically categorize that for you. So if you know every single month that you have a light bill that's coming in, let's say from a place called Hiding Electric, and that's where your electric bill comes from, you can create a rule where it will recognize every time Hiding Electric pops up that is a light bill, and it will categorize it for you. Exclude means you want to get rid of the transaction. Let's say you did a personal transaction, you don't want it counted in your QuickBooks. You can exclude it so it will not be shown. It's almost like hitting delete, but it just excludes it. And in categorization history, this will show all that this type of transaction has been categorized under. So for right now, we're going to hit confirm, and then that is categorized for us. Now, there might be a time where if you went ahead and you've already put this transaction in, or it matches with another transaction in the banks that you have. So let's say it's an expense. So that means I went up to this button, I pushed plus, and I added the expense in there. And now before that, the money came out. And now that the money's came out, it has a transaction to match with. And if that's the case, 10 times easier, you just hit confirm if that's the right one. But sometimes if you do more than one transaction on the same day, same amount, it may need you to choose which one it was. So if I already went in and put down that I had a bill payment coming out and I've already made the transaction for that, then I would hit that. Same with expense. So we're going to hit expense and we're going to confirm. Now if it's not neither one of them, then you can hit categorize and you can do what we did in the step before and do it yourself. Now, record a transfer means this is for any account that is in QuickBooks. This does not count for any transaction that is, any account that is out of QuickBooks. So let's say you transferred $5,000 from your business account to your personal account for your payroll or for paying yourself. If that personal account is not attached to QuickBooks, then you cannot use this transfer function. You have to count that as owner's draw. This is for any account that is in QuickBooks, okay? And then record credit card payment. Again, if you have that credit card attached to QuickBooks, it's already up here. It is one of these accounts, like this MasterCard right here. Then we can record that and match that payment to that MasterCard. Okay. But for now, we're gonna go to find match. We're gonna hit that expense and we're going to confirm. Now, if you believe that neither one of these are right, but you know you already went ahead yourself and put a transaction in to match this, then find other matches. But for now, we're going to confirm. So again, it has more and more that's already in QuickBooks that you've already done, as you see and as you see. So let's talk about transactions. So let's say we go in here, we want to do an invoice. We all know what invoices is for, but if you want more in depth about what each of these functions mean and what each of these functions do, I have created a separate video for you, so make sure you go check that out. But today we're just going over how to put transaction or how to categorize transactions. Now let's go to the bank register. Now the bank register will show all of the transactions that you already categorized. So that transaction that we categorized earlier for $55, there it goes. This will show a list of all the transactions that have came into your bank account and that has been categorized. If you have not confirmed a transaction or categorized transaction, it will not show here. And then we want to go back to our chart of accounts. Now, our chart of accounts is exactly what the name shows. It's a chart full of every account that you use in QuickBooks. So your checking account, your savings account, your accounts receivable, your expenses, truck, your credit card, loans, retained earnings, so on and so forth, income, landscaping service, labor, all your different accounts. This is a chart, and it has the option of you can, if it's one of these accounts, it's going to show the balance versus the bank balance. If it's just one of the accounts, then you can also run a report on it, and it will pull up the account that will show just income for design income, and it will also show. So let's click it. We run a report on it. It will show every single date, transaction type, transaction number, who it came from, any memos that you put in, and then it will show that. So let's say you look at your profit and loss statement, you see that you made $75,000 in design income, and you want to know exactly what transactions led to all those, or what customers you used, or what made that number. Then clicking this report right here will help you. So that was a brief overview of how to use the transaction feature inside QuickBooks. Now, if you want a more in-depth tutorial, then make sure you head up to my website, thebougiebookkeeper.com, and take my mastery course. Not only do we get down into every section of QuickBooks, how to operate it, how it works, and how it can benefit your business, I also give you bookkeeping tips. I actually give you a breakdown of the basic bookkeeping you need to be able to categorize a transaction correctly and be able to understand QuickBooks at a more advanced level. And if you're just somebody who needs help with your QuickBooks, you need me to either work with your team, work with you, or just to do your QuickBooks for you, make sure you head over to www.thebougiebookkeeper.com and schedule a consultation with me. Click that link in the bio. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at The Bougie Bookkeeper, and I will see you in my next video.